if he's in it, it's right. You're not going to have to lose yourself or be at odds in your mind and heart and spirit. So I wanted to just come on here and do a video, and it's kind of more like just heart to heart. There really isn't notes or anything like that, but I just wanted to talk about the opportunities that we have, and our desires of our hearts, when we believe that God has given us a promise and we believe that God is preparing us for something. For instance, like with one of my biggest fails is in the area of relationships. My story is that my upbringing is pretty dysfunctional, and there were things that I have to learn, and God uses all things, and he like shows us his heart. But I've also seen a lot of messages surrounding like kingdom marriages and things like that, and I just wanted to just give my 2 cents about opportunities that can arise when we've been praying for something. And one of the things that it was, I don't even know who it's from, but there was a guy on Instagram, and I saw his video, and it was talking about something from God being in the details, and how there are counterfeit situations where the enemy can be opening doors as well. And I remember personally that I had gotten a prophetic word surrounding a promise and certain things, and it was just like, it seemed like there were like signs and all this kind of stuff, and I still got it wrong. And I thought about it, and after it didn't work out, it's like, because I had saw certain signs that I took as confirmations and had like a prophetic word, I just went straight ahead on with it. And I did not really like fast and take my time and really set the word before God, like, that I'd received, and the confirmations and the red flags, all of it. I didn't really surrender it to God. Sometimes God is walking with us, he's preparing, he's speaking to us on a certain area, in whichever area, whatever thing that he wants to do, whatever promise that he's making, and he could be preparing us for it. And then we're just in the beginning stages and we're excited about it, but we haven't even had that time with God to even truly understand his heart behind what he's doing. My phone turned off because of the Florida heat. So just to summarize, I just wanted to just stir up reflection on any like situation where, if you're wondering, is this from God, is just be on the lookout for anything where you're feeling like you have to compromise. And you don't even have to be full on sinning, but you're going outside of what you how you personally set out to honor God. We have an idea and our spirit is so willing, right? But then our flesh is weak. We're still people. If you are feeling like you have to justify certain things, this, like, in the compromise, right? You're justifying things and you're wanting to move away from accountability, really being real and open with people. You kind of self-isolate. To me, that just screams a situation where you're basically isolated and vulnerable, and it's not a good thing. I think of like a wolf in sheep's clothing, like the wolf in Little Red Riding Hood. He had to dress up like the old lady to lure her in. And then, which is not funny, but just that story, like, I don't know why that one, that reference came to mind. And so the compromising, not wanting accountability, just the pride, like, oh, they don't understand, or my situation is different, or, you know, there are certain things you're just making excuses, and it's just not gonna turn out well. And then too, if you feel like you can't surrender it to God completely and honestly and prayerfully and fasting and taking your time, you're having to force things, and you're just like quick to just, you know, I feel like that's also, you know, when you have to force things, when you're just moving to try to make it work in your own strength, you're not, you know, you're getting upset, you're just trying to make things happen that might not be, you know, the right time or situation, you know. I just feel like those are just some things that I wanted to share. Some of the things that I've struggled with and what I've learned from. A lot of things I learned the hard way, and I'm still learning so many things the hard way. But if it can help someone to prevent them from really just suffering and, you know, regretting things like I have, it's, to me, that's so worth it. So yeah, I encourage anyone who comes across this video to just, you know, God is about the heart, you know. I fell for a wolf in sheep's clothing, and everything was like religious, this, we talked about God, all this stuff, but at the heart of it, there were things that is like, okay, well, I guess it's the fruit too that we have to pay attention to, you know. Go back to, is it 1 Corinthians 14, 4-7? Love is patient, love is kind. I heard someone say this before too, like, can you literally put the person's name, that person is patient, that person is kind, that person, you know, is not you know, like insisting on their own way. Like, is it a situation where both are serving, both are honoring, you know, all of this stuff? Like, can you really say that it's a reflection of what God is saying the attributes of love is, you know, or are? So yeah, I'm on break, so I don't really have a lot of time, but yeah, I hope this was helpful for anyone who's like waiting on something from God, to kind of just do a check, you know. If you are seeing signs, you're like, God, I don't know if this feels like it's from you, whether it be like a job opportunity or something, just, you know, even if you've been waiting for a long time, or you feel like, oh, this might be it, just take a step back, you know, and just don't be afraid to, you know, really surrender to God and seek his heart in it, because his heart for you is beyond even, you know, the love that you can have for yourself, the desires that you can have for yourself, because if he's in it, you know, it's right, you know. You're not going to have to lose yourself, or, you know, be at odds in your mind and heart and spirit. You know what I mean? So again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in my next one.